Welcome back to Flores and Friends. It is my honor to introduce you to the voice of the Emmys, the Oscars, the Tonys, and the voice of entertainment tonight, Randy Thomas.
Thank you.
Oh, grab a mic, Randy.
I know my way around a microphone.
Are you a voice for hire?
Yes, I am, indeed.
Speaking of that, you have a great book by the same name. Tell us a little bit about the book.
I wrote a book called Voice for Hire. I actually co-wrote it with a friend of mine, Peter Rowe-Fay, who is a voiceover coach from New York. I was working out here, making my career as a voiceover actor, and Peter was in New York. We thought East Coast, West Coast. We can talk about the art of voiceover and the playing field and what's really happening in the world of voiceover together in a broader sense than either one of us would be able to do on our own. So we collaborated and wrote a pretty definitive book that teaches folks how to do voiceover. And I actually, we wrote it in 2008. Don LaFontaine wrote the foreword to it.
Don, yes.
And does everybody know who he is? In a world, that guy. So Don wrote the foreword to Voice for Hire, and then sadly, he died the month it came out.
Yeah.
So it came out in September of 2008, and he passed away. We lost him in 2008.
Have you noticed that now there's really hardly any people that voice trailers? It's just usually those words on the screen.
Right.
Disaster, scary, that kind of stuff. No one can do in a world.
Well, they did. They've changed the way they do trailers. Back in the day when Don actually wrote the copy for trailers, we told the story. That's what those guys did. And now today, they tend to go for almost no voiceover, and all it is, opens January 10th, PG-13. That's it.
That's it.
They don't even say the title of the film.
No, it's not important.
So, it's changed.
Tell us the story about when you took a ride with Don LaFontaine from studio to studio one day.
Oh, wow. Well, Don was someone that I was enamored with. I loved the work that he was doing, and I was a fan. I didn't really know him, but I had heard at the time that if you wanted to spend the day, Don would take people in his limousine, and you could drive to every voiceover job that he had to do, and so he would let you spend the day with him. And I called his agent one day, and I said, I hear people can ride around with Don for a day. I would like to. And
a ride-along, like the police.
Yeah, like a ride-along.
A lot
exactly.
safer, though.
Definitely safer. And watching him sign all of his AFTRA contracts, I was like, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. I was counting up just what he earned in one day, and it was over $12,000 in one day.
Wow. I've heard stories that when he went into the studio, he would do one read, and then they'd say, do you want to do that again? He'd say no, and he'd just leave. I
don't think that's true. Don knew that he nailed it in the first take, and so he would possibly, if you asked him nicely, like, Don, can we just get a safety, or can we get that a hair faster, he would do it. But if someone said, let's just get it for the sake, he'd be like, you already got it the first time.
I nailed that. Come on. Didn't you hear it? Now, you've been the voice of the Oscars, 14 times the Tony Awards.
Actually, that's a little bit outdated.
Go ahead and tell me.
So the story is that I'm the first woman in history to announce the Oscars.
Exactly.
We were working
Congratulations.
together.
This is beautiful.
Thank you. It was 1993. I was invited in to audition. I did, and I was one of about 20 women that had gone to visit the Oscar folks. I booked the job. So I got to do 7 Academy Awards. They've invited me back 7 times. I haven't done it in a few years, but I've done the last 18 years of Tony Awards. I did last year, my producers that do the Tony Awards also produced the Kennedy Center honors for the first time.
Yes.
And this will now be my second year. They've just invited me to come back and announce the Kennedy Center honors
awesome.
December 4th in Washington.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you. So, yeah, I do things like Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Oscars, Emmys, Tonys.
You did the Democratic Convention, right?
I did not. I've done the Democratic
Yes.
Convention. I was the first woman in history.
Yes.
But they had a Latina do it this year, Sylvia Villagran. She nailed those names. I mean,
Yeah.
she was incredible with her pronunciations on all of the folks that she had to introduce at the DNC. But no, it was her this year. So.
Right. I just assume you're there. That's how I do. You know,
I like that.
Yeah, it's just like, that's Randy, isn't it? You know, that kind of thing. So you've been doing Entertainment Tonight for a number of years.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. How do you enjoy working with them? I know you were actually living in Florida for a long time, so obviously Entertainment Tonight is here on the CBS Radford lot. How is your relationship with them?
It's fantastic. In 2004, 2005, I started with E.T. and The Insider. And then around 2012, they no longer retained me as a contract player.
Yes.
But for certain sweep stories, they bring me in. Last week, I was on for Debbie Rowe, a story about her and her cancer. She's Michael Jackson's baby mamas, you know. So they brought me in for that story. So now they use me. The sad thing is, what they've decided to do with the announcer job at Entertainment Tonight is they make the hosts do all of the work that the announcer would normally do.
Oh, wow.
And then once in a while they get a budget and they spend it for sweeps and they bring in an announcer.
Right.
But you know, that's the game. You're an independent contractor when you're a voiceover artist.
So
And that's what I do.
I think this is, have you gotten a lot of women who've contacted you over the years to say that you've inspired them to pursue a career or whatever career they might have wanted? Has that happened to you?
Absolutely. I get letters every day from men and women that want to do more voiceover or want to learn what voiceover is about. And I try to help them. I invite them to read the book, Voice for Hire. But I also do an event called Voiceover Mastery.
Yes.
And I'm doing it right here in LA on Friday.
That's what I hear. And you know, we're actually live on Facebook right now.
We
across
are?
the country and across
Oh,
the
that's
world.
awesome.
So, and I thought we'd do this so that you
Fantastic.
can definitely tell people. Tell us about this, because, boy, I was looking at the amount of people that are going to be there. People might not know them as household names, but they've done so many things.
It's true.
It's great to have these people come together. So tell me about the VO
Thank
Mastery
you, Julio.
class.
So Voiceover Mastery is an event that I created in Fort Myers, Florida, where I lived for the last 2 years, but my husband and I just moved back to LA in August. So it's this Friday, Veterans Day, at the Sportsman's Lodge Hotel in Studio City. And because it's Veterans Day on Friday, we are actually inviting veterans to write us. If you are a veteran that wants to learn how to use your voice and you want to come to our event, go to vomastery.com and sign up for our newsletter and tell us why you want to come to Voiceover Mastery. We're scholarshiping in 5 vets that want to learn about voiceover. If you are a military veteran and you want to join us, half off the current price. So it's $200 to come and spend the day with. Are you ready? First of all, Joe Cipriano, my voiceover promo guy buddy. Melissa Disney, who does trailers, promos. She just announced the Country Music Awards the other night. Melissa did the Emmys in September, so she's going to be there. But my animation cast is phenomenal. Tara Strong, My Little Pony. I've got Wacko from the Animaniacs, Jess Harnell, Winnie the Pooh, Jim Cummings, E.G. Daly, who is Tommy Pickles. I have Debbie Derryberry as a presenter teaching, and she's Jimmy Neutron.
Sean Schimmel was here a couple months ago, and he loves her so much.
He does. She's amazing with him.
Yeah.
And I love his work. And I saw that interview. That was a great interview.
Yeah, thank you.
So that's what I have going on. It's the Sportsman's Lodge on Coldwater and Ventura, and it's going to be a 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. We're doing voiceover all day, and then we're having an after party. So I know a lot of folks work, and they can't really get out during the day.
Yeah.
A lot of my animation stars are going to stick around. We have a VO Mastery House band. We're going to play music. They're going to sing. Debbie Derryberry is singing. Melissa Disney is singing. Jess Harnell may get out there and rock it a bit. I have authors. I have Nita, Don LaFontaine's widow. She's I'm so happy she just recently remarried, but she's going to come and sing. She wrote a book called Finding My Voice. I have authors that are voiceover actors that are coming. We have quite a big deal planned for Friday, but I was so glad I could come over and see you, even though I am doing nothing but getting ready for voiceover mastery.
What's the website that they should go to learn about it?
vomastery.com.
Sounds
vomastery.com. All the information is there. And I'm just so happy to see you. I want to wish you super congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy you're back in LA. I'm glad your daughter is going to USC. The irony of it all, Randy and I have known each other for a long time. We've worked together at the Wave at one time, and our kids were actually born in the same month and the same year, which is crazy. So we always know how old each other's kids are and what grade they're in.
It's true. I love it.
So thank you so much, Randy. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Julio. Thank you, guys.
Coming up here at Flores and Friends, legendary comedian Joy Medina. That's up next on Flores and Friends.